What's going on, everybody? Good morning. It is Saturday, and more importantly, it is the first day of a new month. It is March 1st, 2025, and I always like to take the first video of each month to go over the month that the channel just had and the month that the channel hopes to have going forward. So, we are currently coming out of a little bit of a slow period for football stuff. So understand that everything I'm about to say, I understand why it happened. I'm not saying it just happened for no reason. I'm not saying it happened because anything went wrong, but I am going to go ahead and say it because whatever qualifiers you put in front of it, it doesn't change the fact that this was one of the slowest months in the history of this channel ever since I started becoming someone who would upload multiple videos a day. This was comparable to like a June or July for football stuff, and the channel reacted accordingly. So there really wasn't a lot to talk about. I still posted videos, of course. Like, I have to keep posting videos, and there's still stuff to get into, but the stuff that there was to get into was not nearly as engaging as most stuff that you can talk about when talking about a football team, right? Like, what happened this month, really? In terms of actual concrete things that happened with the Seahawks, we had the Leonard Williams restructure, right? We had a few John Schneider press conferences, and we had the first part of the combine, right? What else really happened other than that? We got a little update about how I guess the salary cap has gone up faster than expected. We pushed Uchenna Nwosu's date on his contract guarantees back a little bit. We talked a little bit about some stuff concerning the Kubiak offense because Kubiak had a press conference. But other than that, there really wasn't a lot going on in February. So even though I kept posting videos, the free agency primer videos, the interest in those videos was not that high. And for a lot of them, I understand that the interest wouldn't be that high. There's only so much that I can do making videos about fourth string and fifth string wide receivers the Seahawks might want to sign. But that was really all we had to go on. So I did the best that I could, and I'm proud of what I did. And I do think I did some good work, and I do think some people got good things out of those videos for sure. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I need to do that research for free agency. So I'm doing it regardless. I may as well make videos about my research. But that resulted in a very slow month. Um, it's one of those things where if you are rooting for a team in February that isn't doing one of a few things, you're not going to have a lot to talk about. Like, the last time Seahawks Brendan Nelson had a February that was this slow, it was 3 years ago before the Russell Wilson trade, right? Because 2 years ago, February was actually pretty. It was actually pretty good. I actually went back and looked earlier today just for out of curiosity, and I was actually really surprised. People were so excited after that season where we were so much better than anybody expected. We made the playoffs. We looked like we had some money for free agency. It looked like we were going to flip over some of the unwanted things about the team from previous years. That was actually a really good February. And then last February, we had fired Carroll and we were building our new coaching staff throughout February. So there was actually a lot of interest and there was a lot of engagement from the fan base at that time. So this February was very different. We didn't fire a coach. We didn't trade a quarterback. We didn't trade any players, actually. We didn't sign any big contract extensions. The closest thing we had to that was restructuring Leonard Williams, but we didn't even get like an Ernest Jones extension. So, unlike some past Februaries, there just wasn't a lot to get into. If your team doesn't play in the Super Bowl or fire a head coach or make a big trade or big move of some kind, there's only going to be so much to get into. We did fire our offensive coordinator, but we had already hired somebody, I believe, right around the end of January, if I recall correctly. So there wasn't really a lot to talk about there. And the filling out the coaching staff behind the OC was never going to be that engaging. It was always going to be kind of a, the sausage is getting made. We don't need to see how the sausage gets made. We just need to see the sausage when it's done and eat it. So there just wasn't a lot going on this February. It was kind of like 3 years ago when we were going into February. The fan base was a little depressed because we had a bad season. I think there was a general belief the team was stuck in a dishwasher or a washing machine and wouldn't be able to get out of it. It didn't look like we were going to have a lot of free agency money. It didn't look like we were going to be able to do the things we needed to do to get better. So I think people were a little bit tuned out at that point, and we hadn't made any moves yet in February, right? I don't think maybe we traded Wilson right at the end of February. I can't remember the exact day, but the channel was pretty dead until that happened. So we saw a similar thing happen this year. And again, mostly to be expected. I think we got to like 190,000 views on the channel in February, which is kind of close to what I would generally expect to get in June and July. And it's a lot less than what we've seen in February. But one thing that I do have to admit was a little bit, I don't know what you would call it. I wouldn't call it concerning because I get why it happened. I gained like 8 subscribers total. My net gain on subscribers in February was like 8. It was less than 10. It was positive, but by the barest of margins. It was right around 8 to 10. And I have not had a month with that little subscriber growth in a very, very long time. And, if you look at the numbers, you can see what happened, right? You had a lot of people sub, but you all had an almost equal number of people unsub, actually, is what happened. I think because people go into hibernation and they don't want their sub box getting 4 to 5 videos a day about stuff they're not really interested in. And a lot of the videos I made during February were videos that people were not that interested in, like the free agency primer videos. I made, I don't know exactly how many free agency primer videos I made, but I think it was over 100. And there's only so much you're going to be able to do to pull people in on that stuff unless they really, really dig down deep into this sort of conversation. And that's not going to be for everybody. So it makes sense, but it's still something that I'm looking at and going, that has not happened in quite some time. So February's over now. We have stuff happening. The combine is going. But again, the combine is, in many cases, still just a little bit inside baseball for some people. I think that a lot of people don't really get into it the way that I do. There are people out there who love the combine stuff, but I definitely think there is a significant portion of any football fan base that just want to get to the draft. The combine to them is a little too like let the experts worry about it, and then we'll see and then we'll see who we actually draft, right? And I get that. I totally get that. It makes sense. I once upon a time, many years ago, I was like that, and it's not a bad place to be. For some people, football is just 3 hours a week, and you're probably a happier person than I am, or at least you control your happiness more than I do. Too much of my happiness is wrapped up in things that I have no control in because of what I do. So maybe you're smarter than me. I don't know. But anyway, back to the point. It was a very slow month for the channel. Thank you to everybody who did subscribe. Thank you to everybody who did watch videos, tune in, do whatever you did to help out. It's all appreciated. Still had fun. So that's the YouTube side of things for February. Going forward to March, pretty simple. We're going to wrap up the combine. We're going to do some final touches pre-free agency. I don't think I'm going to have a lot more to say about the free agency stuff. I've kind of already done everything. I was able to get everything out right before the combine, which was great. But I think the 10th is the first day of legal tampering. And it's not 100% guaranteed yet, but I'm pretty positive I'm going to do what I've always done since I started really expanding the channel. I'm going to do all-day streams the first 5 days of free agency. Turn on the stream at 9 in the morning on the 10th. Turn it off at 5, and then do that the next 4 days, because that's when all the really fun stuff happens. Players are going to get signed, players are going to get released, players might get traded. All kinds of fun stuff's going to go on. The Seahawks are going to lose players. They're going to get players. That first week is where all the action is. So I'm going to be streaming throughout the entire day, tracking all NFL moves with a special focus on the Seahawks related ones, and we'll see what happens. And this has typically been a very, very popular thing that I have done on this channel. And it's typically gotten, like, I think the last 2 years, the stream has gotten up around near 900 viewers as a default. It peaks over 1,000 when something big happens. So hopefully that'll happen again in 2025, because while right now it's not the case, I do think this team is going to have a lot of money. So they're going to have to do something in free agency. I had somebody ask me the other day, do you actually think the Seahawks are going to do anything in free agency? And I said, yes, because I think they're going to have so much money, they're going to be obligated to do something. Unless they decide they want to take a step back in 2025, which I think they've already kind of committed to no on because of the Leonard Williams restructure. I think you have to fire your bullets here. What are you saving your bullets for? Are you saving it for the next GM? Are you going to let yourself get fired because you don't make the playoffs in 2025, and then you're giving your bullets that you could have used on your own situation for them to use in their situation? That doesn't sound like good business to me. So I do think the team is going to be active. I think that this free agency class isn't stellar, but most free agency classes aren't. So I think that was part of it as well. There's a perception this free agency class is not that good. I don't think that should have a big effect on one team that is motivated to actually get certain players and get better in certain spots. So the first 2 days of the free agency streams will probably have to be from my laptop, which is really unfortunate, but I don't have a choice. And then we move to my computer. So I wish I could do the whole thing from my computer, but things didn't break my way this year. I have to do the first 2 days from the laptop and just hope that the quality is good enough to at least have a decent stream. So that's the YouTube side of things. Again, thank you to everybody for everything that happened in February. It was a lot of fun. I did a lot of hard work. I posted a lot of videos. I think it's up around 100, but there was not... It was not a typical month for the channel. Even previous Februarys, even previous months where I don't get a lot of views, I usually am not that stagnant with subs. And I totally get why, but it still happened, and it was still like, wow, people are not locked in right now. All right, Twitch real quick. Good month on Twitch. I finally beat Demon Souls. That playthrough's been sitting there for months, so I needed to finish it. I finally did. I actually was having a lot of fun by the end of it. I really ended up feeling good about the game after really having a hard time because I was tackling stages in the wrong order. So Demon Souls ended up being really good. We beat that near the beginning of the month. We did, I think, one American Truck Simulator stream, and then we kind of shelved it because my partner who I play it with got busy and he couldn't stream with me. So I did Astro's Playroom, which was just one stream. And then I got Astrobot and I played through that, and I beat that a couple days ago. So that was cool. That was a really good game. I really liked it. Maybe the best platformer I played. And we also did a playthrough of Far Cry 4, which I liked quite a bit. And that actually left us with no lingering playthroughs going into 2025 March. And except for, I guess, Truck Simulator, which is not really a playthrough so much as it is an open world game you just play to relax. And March, I think we're going to go ahead and start on Lost Judgment, which is a sequel to the original Judgment, a game that I thought was good. So hopefully Lost Judgment is more good. And I'll probably start that in the next few days here. I probably can't start it till after the Combine, honestly, because the Combine keeps me pretty occupied. So it won't start immediately, but Lost Judgment should be a good playthrough to go through. And other than that, I don't know what I'm going to be doing on for another playthrough. I usually try to have 2 playthroughs going more or less simultaneously. I haven't really picked something that I'm gonna go through alongside Lost Judgment. I might finally do Resident Evil 0. I might finally do I mean, it's too early for the GTA 5 replay, right? Because GTA 6 is still a long way away. I have a few different options there. I've been thinking about doing like another Red Faction game. I've been thinking about doing a Total War game because I love those games and haven't done one in a while. Gonna go through a few different options. All right. So we hit like, I want to say we hit like 760 followers over on Twitch. So that was about what I was hoping to hit. We got right around there. So let's go for 770. Let's just keep going for that very marginal growth over on the Twitch side of things. I know that, when you're a variety streamer, it's tough. It's hard to get and keep viewers when you're a variety streamer because the streamers that do really well tend to be the streamers that play the same thing all the time. But I'm doing it for fun. I'm doing it just to have conversation with people as I'm playing stuff. So, yeah. Twitch stuff going good, having fun. See you guys later today. Many more videos coming. More Combine stuff. Go Hawks. And I think we're going to have one non-Combine video before we get to all that. So keep an eye out for that because we did have one thing happen in the NFL world the last couple days. And yeah, thank you for February, but hopefully March is a lot better. See you guys soon. Go Hawks.